Good evening, students. In the class today, we have discussed the importance of solar generation. So, because it is one of the natural available source and it plays a very important role in the electricity power sector, because in some areas it is not possible to reach the electricity for all type of consumers due to some inconvenience. It may be due to long length of transmission lines, it may be due to small amount of people are living in that area, either it may be due to some hill areas are available. Hence, some areas are isolated. That means some consumers are isolated from the central distribution of electricity. In such conditions, this renewable system plays very important roles. So we are erect the generation plant, some megawatt or kilowatt generation of energy is possible, hence it can be distributed there only. Hence it is called decentralized distribution of electricity or remote generation and distribution. Hence solar is one, it is available around the world, freely available, and it is also one of the environmental friendly. Hence in renewable energy sources category, the solar energy is more dominant. Solar cell is a device, it converts a light energy into electricity by use of photovoltaic effect. So it is also called photovoltaic cell or solar cell. The photovoltaic effect is defined as generation of an EMF by absorption of ionizing radiation. In simply we can say that solar cell is a device. When the solar light falls, hence the cell generates a DC voltage. The photovoltaic effect is more dominant in semiconductor material. Hence the solar cell is basically a PN junction. It is nothing but a PN junction. It is already known that in P-type material the holes are majority charge carriers. In N-type material the electrons are majority charge carriers. A semiconductor silicon consists 4 electrons. By adding a some impurity, either it may be trivalent, either it may be pentavalent. If we are adding a trivalent impurity to this silicon, it results P-type semiconductor material. Similarly, if we can add pentavalent impurity to the silicon, then results N-type semiconductor material. Getting the idea? So it is a PN junction. It consists one side P region, another side N region. As shown in figure, one side is P-type region, another side is N-type region. In P-type region, the holes are majority charge carrier. On the other hand, in N-type region, the electrons are majority charge carriers. When there is no EMF is applied, sum of electrons crosses the potential barrier or deflection region, and sum of holes crosses the PN junction and comes in N-type region. This will create a potential barrier. These charge carriers will opposite. These charge carriers protect further crossing of electrons and holes. Hence, there is no conduction without any voltage is applied or any type of energy is not applied. When the solar light falls, or we can apply any type of energy on this PN junction, then what happens? Very first, some available electrons in n-type region gains the energy. Hence, these electrons are trying to cross the PN junction. They are having sufficient energy voltage than this of potential barrier. Hence, sum of electrons or crosses PN junction and joins the holes. Hence, it creates the formation of electron hole pairs. This process will continue. This process will continue because the electrons will jump from atom to atom. That will cause drifting of electrons. Hence, there is a flow of electrons will occurs. There is a flow of electrons occurs from cathode to anode. Cathode to anode terminal, that is n-type material to p-type material. Hence, the conventional current will also occurs from anode to cathode. If the circuit is completed, if the external circuit is completed through the anode, a lamp is given, then it is completing to cathode. In open circuit, there is no flow of current. If this anode to cathode external circuit is given, then current will flows from anode to cathode through the external circuit. Similarly, the drifting of electrons will occurs from cathode to anode through the external circuit. Hence, this potential barrier reduces or decreases. This is the operation of PN junction. In same fashion of solar cell also works. Understand, sir? We can observe here p-type semiconductor and n-type semiconductor. So, a silicon has 4 electrons. Silicon has 4 electrons. If a trivalent impurity, that is called boron, if boron is added, next you can see the center boron atom has 3 electrons. Boron atom has 3 electrons. It takes neighboring electrons of the silicon. It is bonded, covalent bonded by neighbor silicon atoms. You see there, bonded by a neighboring silicon atom. It is bonded by 3 electrons, but one wide or one hole it is left. There is a shortage of 1 electron because it has only, boron has only 3 electrons. Hence, there is a hole. It needs 1 more electron. So, it is creates the hole, or it can be voids. Hence, this is story of one boron atom. There are so many boron atoms are there in crystalline structure. Hence, more number of holes are available in p-type semiconductors. On the other hand, you consider a n-type semiconductor. If we are adding pentavalent impurity is added, pentavalent impurity is added. Now we can see that phosphorus is bonded by 4 electrons. It has 5 electrons, 4 electrons of neighboring silicon. 1 electron is excess. 1 electron is excess. This electron is referred as free electron. Free electron. This is the story of one atom. Similarly, number of atoms are there. Hence, more number of free electrons are available in n-type semiconductors. Now you see a typical solar cell with connection of external circuit by a lamp. So you can observe here there is some contacts. Top contact material is there, below contact material is there. First layer is of n-type silicon, that is n-type semiconductor material. Then center it becomes p-n junction. Then after that p-type semiconductor material. When the light falls on the n-type material, hence it will create the more number of electrons. It gains the energy. Electrons are gained the energy from solar radiation. Hence more number of electrons are rushing towards the p-n junction and crosses the p-n junction and joins the holes and go on shifting one hole to next hole. It will creates the drifting of electrons up to the bottom portion. Hence the flow of electrons will occur from n-type to p-type. Similarly, current will flow from p-type to n-type through the external lamp. Hence the lamp is on. Remember, hence the lamp is on. The solar cell is a simply working of p-n junction. So any type of energy falls or free electron gets, hence it is able to cross the deflection region. Hence the potential barrier reduces. That energy gained by the electron should be greater than your deflection region voltage. It may be around 0.7 voltage. Hence, getting the idea, any type of energy is available, then electrons will moves across the junction and crosses the junction. Either it may be mechanical, either it may be thermal, either it may be electrical energy. Hence, finally we are going to get a DC voltage. DC voltage is generated. This DC voltage is given to inverter. Inverter is a electronic circuit which converts the DC voltage to AC voltage, sir. You can observe it is a simple building structure where the solar panels are fixed. How the simple wiring is done, then how it is connected to grid or some transmission lines for other uses. This diagram is very important. So if any consumers are interested to generate the voltage for their house, or if they are interested to sell the electricity for kV, that also possible. Hence, if you are having a connection with your internal building and along with the external building, whenever solar energy is available, then we can generate the solar energy and battery is charged. We are using the electricity for our own building. If any excess generation is there, then that excess of voltage or AC power is supplied to grid or external supply. How much energy you are selling, then the supply authority will pay. Or you are not having any supply, or you need the supply during the off sunshine seasons, hence we can take the power from that kV supply. This is the multi-purpose. Very fine. Then we have to discuss types of photovoltaic power plants. The mainly three types of power plants are there. Number one, stand-alone system, hybrid system, grid connected system. For your purpose, you have to understand number one very properly, where the different type of units comes, what are the flow of energy with respect to block diagrams. You practice one later on second one 50%. The main components of a standalone photovoltaic power plants are PV array, battery, charging regulator, DC load or AC load, and inverter. PV array means it consists number of solar cells. It consists number of solar cells as per the design parameter. That means how much power you want to generate. This fact decides number of solar cells, number of PV arrays, or it is also called module. The number of solar cells are connected in series or parallel. The size of the PV array depends upon the generation capacity. Number 1. The generated DC voltage is supplied to charge regulator. Second block, charge regulator. The DC output of PV array is connected to battery through this charging unit. This charging unit mainly consists a diode. It is always connected in series to PV array. It mainly functions. This diode is also known as blocking diode. It protects the some important parameters, or it will work in very important situations. That means whenever there is no sunshine, it prevents the discharging through the photovoltaic array. Number 1. Number 2, during the short circuit, it protects the battery. It protects the battery from short circuit conditions. It also prevents the overcharging. Next component is battery. The battery is charged using DC output of PV array. The size of the battery, it also depends on the requirement and applications. During the daytime, during the daylight hours, the battery is charged by the PV array. Next block, inverter. It is already well known that it is a typical electronic circuit. The generated DC voltage may be converted to AC voltage or AC power. Its main function is to convert DC power to AC power. The inverter output is connected to AC load center. From this load center, AC power is supplied to consumers. The consumers which are uses AC supply for their appliances. Hence, electrical appliances are AC designed. Or sometime we may distribute the DC power also. Hence, inverter is not necessary. From the battery output, we have to give supply to DC load center. From the DC load center, the DC power is supplied to the consumers. These consumers uses DC power because their appliances are designed by DC supply. For example, we have to use DC motor. DC motor may be further used for pumping of water in farmer uses. Getting the idea? We can use the DC supply, we can use the AC supply. As per the supply system, it may be DC standalone system, either it may be AC standalone system. Sir, this system may be mainly used for water pumping in remote areas. I already informed this type of power generation is very suitable for remote areas where the consumers are not getting centralized electricity supply. due to some inconvenience technical problems. It may be far away from the transmission line. It may be hill area. Hence, in such cases, these solar power plant generation units are coming very dominant role. And this type of source is naturally available, and its generation is not going to pollute the air, atmospheric effect, such like from the nuclear as well as from coal. It does not produce any dangers to human life or atmosphere. Hence, it is one of the environment friendly renewable energy source. Hence, some of applications we can use this is very successfully. So it is already used for pumping of water either by AC pumping motor or DC pumping motor. So you can observe in figure number 1, this is motor, DC motor system. So from the PV array DC voltage is generated, then it is given input to power conditioning unit. From the output of power conditioning unit is supplied to DC motor. DC motor, it runs, it produces mechanical power, it is connected to pumping set. Hence the pump will work on DC motor DC supply. Or sometimes we need the AC system, hence with the help of inverter, PV array generates DC voltage. It is given input to three-phase inverter, or it may be single-phase inverter depending upon motor. Three-phase inverter or single-phase inverter. What is the function of inverter? It mainly converts DC voltage to AC voltage. In some cases, step-up transformers are used to step up the voltage as per the requirement of AC motor. Hence, output of transformer is supplied to AC motor. Hence, AC motor runs. It produces the mechanical energy. This AC motor shaft is coupled to pump. Hence, pump works. This system is known as AC motor system. Sir, you work out this block diagram and working of shell. It is very important. So tomorrow we can see for hybrid system and advantages of disadvantage of solar system. Thank you, sir, to one and all.